Parshas Mishpatim. This shmuz is adapted from a shmuz of Moran Hagoyin, Reb Henoch Leibowitz, Zecher Tzadok Livrocha. It says in the Posuk, Ve'ela HaMishpatim Asher Tosam Lifneihem. These are the laws that you shall place before them. The Ramban explains that after the Aseret HaDibros were given, the Rebbeinu Shalom told Moshe Rabbeinu to reinforce them. And that is the meaning at the end of Parshas Yisro, the Parsha before Mishpatim. It says in the Torah, Atem ri'isem ki min hashamayim dibarti imochem. You have seen that I spoke to you from heaven, Hashem says. This comes to reinforce the first commandment, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, that I am your God. The next pasuk, another pasuk at the end of Parshas Yisro, says, Eloi hei chesef ve'eloi hei zohav lo sasu lochem. Do not make for yourselves silver or gold idols. This comes to reinforce the commandment not to have any other gods. Lo yilecha Elohim acherim al ponai. Our pasuk, Ve'ela Mishpatim Asher Tosam Lifneihem, comes to reinforce Lo Sachmait. The Ramban explains it that if one is not aware of the personal property laws regarding a house, a field, or other possessions, he may covet them and he may consider them his own. The Ramban explains that this comes to reinforce Le'sachmait. And so on, all the Aseret HaDibros are being reinforced throughout the Parsha of Mishpatim. So according to the Ramban, Hashem is instructing Moshe Rabbeinu to warn Klal Yisrael to take to heart to what they have seen. Reinforce the Aseret HaDibros. This is very difficult to understand. And the question is, does the Aseret HaDibros need reinforcing? The Rambam writes in Perek 8, the 8th Perek of Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah, that the highest level of emunah, of belief in Hashem, was Maimed Har Sinai, was standing at Har Sinai, and seeing the way the mountain was in clouds and in flame, and Hashem came down in all His glory, and heard the first two Dibros that Hashem spoke to Klal Yisrael. This was the greatest source of emunah, more than all the nisim and the floys that happened in Mitzrayim and in Kriyas Yamsuf. The highest source of emunah was Maimed Har Sinai. Does this need reinforcement? Kadosh Baruch Hu, they heard HaKadosh Baruch Hu speak. Does this need reinforcement? And furthermore, who are these people that were standing at Har Sinai? This was the Der Deya, the greatest and most knowledgeable people that ever lived. Do these people who heard Hashem speak need reinforcement for the Aseres HaDibros? They heard the greatest Rebbe in the world teaching it. They heard Hashem. And they themselves were the greatest Talmidim. They were a Der Deya. Do people of such caliber need reinforcement? But we see this truth. We see this truth. Apparently, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu came down and said, reinforce the Aseres HaDibros, then even people of this caliber needed reinforcement. Because this is what a human being is. They could know what they have to do, they could remember what they have to do, but after a time, things wear off. Even the Aseres HaDibros, even Maimed Har Sinai could wear off, and even people of such caliber could also, it could wear off from them, that they don't even hear it or see it anymore. This is what a human being is. So the Limud HaMusa that we have to learn from all this is that a person must constantly remind himself, what was he created for? What did Hashem create him for? To learn Torah and to do mitzvahs and do chesed and to be genuine and to be emes and all the midas tovas in the world. They have to constantly be reinforced. And Baruch Hashem, we have Sforim that can help us. We have a Chovos HaLevavos, we have a Sharei Tshuva L'Rabbeinu Yaina, we have a Mesilas Yesharim, an Erches Tzadikim. This is something that people have to constantly remind themselves. Even Maimed Har Sinai needed reinforcement. How much more so do we, who are not on their level, how much more so do we need reinforcement to implement Machai Vosai B'Yelamai? The Eibishter should help us, that we should constantly be on the alert, remind ourselves, what are we doing here on earth? We have to be good Yidden, and we have to be Balei Midas, and we have to be Talmidei Chachamim, we have to be Yirei Shemayim, we have to constantly remind ourselves that this is why HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us. The Eibishter should help that we should be Zeicha to fulfill this, and that's Chuz will be Zeicha to Haramas Karen at Torah, will be Azkoil Tzedek, B'mheira V'yameinu, Amen.